Hey, welcome aboard. I want to thank everybody. We met our last goal, which was a number of viewers. Next goal is to get 25 subscribers. As soon as we meet that goal, I will create a new one of these and then set a new goal. The topic that we will be talking about for this one is student loan debt. I did a video on this, and you can go back and look at it. I think it might have been more than one. I'm going to try and keep these smaller so that we'll get more people. But that's what we're going to be talking about. There was something I saw on the Mendy Adon show, and I wanted he thought of something that I didn't, and I wanted to bring it up because I thought it was an important thing. And maybe the 5 or 10 viewers that I might get here will pass it around. I'll link some people in Washington too. I think it was a very good point that he brought up. And if you got any questions or comments, feel free to bring those up. And if you got a topic suggestion, something that you would like me to talk about, have that uninformed Midwest opinion on it, just let me know and I'll consider it if I think it might be good for the channel. And I want to thank everybody that's been checking this out. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be doing this, but I just appreciate it. Okay, let's get going. Gonna take a minute to get wound up here. Hang on.
Hold on. Will you give me just 10 seconds?
Okay, I'm not restarting it for that. Somehow YouTube kicked me over to Rachel Maddow. I must have hit a link, but here we go with the video.
Is Joe Biden, let's put it exactly the way it is Joe Biden buying votes for a $10,000 vote?
We have a lot of young people that work on my TV show. They're not making 125 grand. They're now eligible to get, in some cases, up to 20,000, in other cases, 10,000. And this is new Green Deal radical socialism.
It would be like someone who is addicted to heroin, who is going through horrendous withdrawals. And there's a certain person in the room who says, well, only thing we can do to do away with these withdrawals is give them another bump of heroin.
Those are just some of the bizarre reactions from Fox hosts to Biden's plan to cancel some student debt for millions of Americans. And can I just say to Sean Hannity that I, for one, am totally in favor of members of my team getting student debt relief if they're eligible. Biden's plan forgives $10,000 for many borrowers and up to 20 grand for low and middle income borrowers who also received Pell Grants. It also extends the repayment freeze one final time until the end of this year. Right-wing media and GOP lawmakers were quick to call the plan a handout and unfair. But the criticism isn't just coming from the right. Some quote-unquote centrist Democrats are also complaining. Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan, who's currently running for the Senate, said in part that waiving debt.
The first thing I want to say is I like that comment where he goes, I'm happy if any of my staff. So he's, unlike Hannity, Mehdi Hassan is someone that actually wants the people that work for him to do better. And he's glad that they might be getting some help. He's glad that they might be getting hauled out from under debt. I talked to someone I know that went to school, and the comment she made was, well, if she qualifies and this goes through, if it doesn't get struck down by the courts, she'll be like half out of debt. She goes, well, if that goes through, I'll owe like 13,000. She's been paying on her student loan, I want to say for over 10 years now. She's still in it. So, she's looking forward to it. Hey, that's great. I'd be half out of debt. She'd probably be happy if the whole thing got paid off. But, she wasn't one of these ones on the left that, oh, it ain't enough. It ain't enough. She's happy. If it comes through, she'll be more than happy. But I want to say that, and because when I was still working at a union before my health got bad, there was one guy in here, it was probably one of the two smartest things I ever heard anybody in there say. He said, he goes, when people talk about others making too much money, he goes, I never understand why they are always going, oh, well, that person's making too much. They never look at themselves and say, why am I not worth more? And it's part of a problem we have with self-image. Most people, they'd rather tear somebody down than ask why somebody isn't helping build them up. But on this issue that we have with the Democrats, the only thing I want to say is Nancy Pelosi talked about the student loan issue, and this would be part of it. And she basically stated that the president is very limited on what he has the authority to do. It's why some people are saying that this may not survive the courts. And I want you to understand that instead of looking at the Democrats or Biden, they are doing what they can. They've got two members of the Democratic caucus in the Senate that do not really seem to care about, they don't care about America more than they care about their conservative donors. That's Sinema and Joe Manchin. They will only let stuff go through that is not going to hurt them because, see, the people on the left, working people don't give them enough money. But those two get a lot of donations from uber rich people, and they're not gonna. They do not care about working people. And this goes with the last video where I was talking about. I should have mentioned it there. Maybe I'll redo that one. But you've got people on the left that are picking up some of these Trojan Republican ideas. Oh, we got to have, we got to have term limits so that we don't keep electing these people, and we got to have some kind of standards we measure. Well, here's the thing. You go back and look at Sinema. She's deleted them, but they're still out there on the internet. Before she got in as a senator, when she was either at the state level or she was in the House, she was against the filibuster. She thought, oh boy, you get me in there. We need to get rid of that filibuster. She was for raising the minimum wage. She's like, oh, we got to get that minimum wage. We got to do that. We got to get going on it. There were all these populist messages. She supported working people. She supported students. As soon as she got in there and she started getting on that Joe Manchin money, that Republican money, oh, she caved in a heartbeat. So, these little qualifiers they want to put, she would have passed them. She absolutely would have passed them. And then as soon as she got in there and started getting a little bit of money, oh, she turned into Fox News's best friend, Putin's best friend. And, Manchin, my understanding is, it might stop him from getting in there if they could, if these things were legal, because he's flat out, yeah, I've always been this way. I don't know why everybody's surprised that I don't care about workers. You don't like it, vote for other people. I'm not doing this. He was right on it. But like with these guys here, the one thing I would say is, this is stuff they need to be doing. Instead of him getting on Biden's ass about this, they need to be looking at this as this is something we have to do in Congress. And right now, I don't think the votes are in it. So instead of saying things like this that might look bad on Biden, they should be basically pointing out, hey, look, if you get us enough votes in the House, if you get us enough votes in the Senate, we will try to pass this. But right now, every bill we bring up, it's got to get past filibuster because the Republicans aren't voting on anything. When your kids are getting killed at school, they will not vote on any gun laws that might save your kids' lives. When we need to do stuff so that you're protected from monkeypox and COVID, they vote against that almost all the time. When you guys are having trouble with inflation, everything we pass that might help you, they're voting against it. And the worst part is the Republicans, they vote against it, and then when they run for office, they take credit for it. They did everything they could to stop this shit, and then they take credit for it. But that's the one thing I want to say is, these guys, they got to quit blaming the president for the stuff that they should be doing in Congress. Okay, I don't know if they do this on purpose, but I just went through the whole video. This show that I was watching, pretty sure it was on this show. I think it was Saturday. Maybe I saw, because I come down early in the morning. I thought him and a couple other people were just on Peacock. Well, I started turning the TV on when I would get up to feed the cats and to do the dishwasher and all this other stuff, and realized, oh, he's on early in the morning. But I watched this, and he was talking about student loans, and somewhere in there, when he was talking about the people, Democrats or others, and to me, this should be a clip of its own, and I can't find it, but I will tell you about it. And this is the stuff I will be looking for, the stuff that I find is important, or the stuff like this that's on the news, and it doesn't seem to be getting the attention. It's on. If you're not up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, you won't see it. But he made a comment about how nobody objected. You know, that the same people that are bitching now for the most part did not object to the bank bailout. You know, they didn't object to these like tax cuts for the rich people, but they're just flipping out over this. And that was the thing I just wanted to, I really wanted for this. And I want to thank Mendy Hassan because I think it was beautiful. But like back then, and I think he mentioned this, I wanted the video so I could share. I think he mentioned this, but it got my brain thinking because I was not even thinking about the the bank bailouts from the failed Bush 2 economy, Junior's economy, where he fucked everything up. But there were people talking back then, and it was your left-leaning people. It was generally not people on the right. It was some of your not mainstream economists, and they said, look, you could have taken that money that you just gave to the banks. I mean, you just fucking handed it to them. I'm surprised they didn't throw some fucking strippers or hookers in through the window while they did it. But you could have taken that money and you could have went and paid off every outstanding home loan for people, like for their primary home. And yes, there were some rich people that would have been, but for the most part, it would have helped out your ordinary people. And you know, like I when I was talking about this when we were at the hospital the other day at the ER, somebody made the comment they could have paid off every student loan with that. Could have paid off car loans. Could have paid off medical bills. There's all these people out there that are fucked on their home loans, their medical bills. And there were people talking about this, at least in some way, shape, or form back in the day. And it would have helped out the banks because the money would have went right to the banks. It would have paid off all these outstanding loans. The banks would have been able to make their bottom line smile, the accounting books smile. But instead of just helping the banks, instead of just bailing out the fucking CEOs and everybody else that ran those things, it would have helped out working people. And that is the one thing that I want to get to on here is as the Democrats go forward, they need to look for stuff like this. The Republicans, this is why they keep getting votes. This is why they keep getting the money to buy those votes, you know, run the ads and everything. Because when they get in there, they do stuff for these banks. They do stuff for the big corporations. The Democrats got to look for stuff, and whether it's Biden doing it when he can through executive order, or whether it's the Democrats doing reconciliation, and they need to take a page from Mitch McConnell. If the parliamentarian says they can't do what they want, fire him and hire one that will. That's what Mitch McConnell did. We've got to start playing on the same, but you get in there. You Democrats get in there. You need to start doing stuff for your base. And your base is not CEOs or corporate America. Your base is working people. Your base is students. And if the courts come in and knock down what you're doing, then you need to let people know, hey, we were trying to help you. Those Republican unqualified judges are stealing from you. They are taking money out of your pocket. And you really need to start doing this. Peace out and hope everybody has a good day.